I don't know. I'd say I'm reasonable.
Okay, that's completely unreasonable.
I'm reasonable.
I'm unreasonable.
You have no idea just how reasonable I have been.
Reasonable synonyms are sensible, rational, practical, fair, appropriate.
Fitting, suitable, logical.
All things I would definitely say describe me.
Do they describe you?
Welcome to I'm Reasonable with Zainab Johnson.
I'm reasonable.
Hey, what is going on? Welcome back to another episode of I'm Reasonable with me, Zainab Johnson. I am in Melbourne, Australia, so that's why my background is a little bit different. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. So I'll be in Melbourne, Australia for the next 2 weeks. I think I'm going to pop over to New Zealand for a couple of days. But if you are listening to this or watching this and you're in Australia, Melbourne, Australia, make sure you come to the shows. I am doing a show tonight. We have our gala sets, but then after that, I'm doing a show every single night, co-headlining with Joe Kim Booster. So yeah, you can get tickets on the Melbourne International Comedy Festival website. Also, I put the link in the details of this podcast. But when I come back from Australia, y'all know I resume my shows in the States. So let's get into where I will be so that you guys have advance notice to come see me perform, okay? The 24th of April, I'll be at Flappers in Burbank, California. So everybody in LA, that's like, Zainab, when you run in an hour in LA, I want to come see you in LA. I will be at Flappers in Burbank, April 24th. Then May 15th, I'll be in Portland, Oregon. May 15th, Portland, Oregon. June 21st and 22nd, I'll be in San Francisco at Cobb's Comedy Club in San Francisco. That's June 21st and 22nd. The 18th of July, I'll be in Columbus. The 19th of July, the 19th and 20th of July, I'll be in Cleveland. So I'm going to be in Ohio in July. So everybody that was like, when you coming to Ohio, July 18th, Columbus, July 19th and 20th, Cleveland, Ohio. Then August 22nd through the 24th, I will be in Chicago. I think I have a Nashville date too. Okay, I'm gonna put the Nashville date right here because I can't remember it right now. So it's gonna flash across the screen right now. So like I was saying, I'll be in Chicago August 22nd through the 24th. And then I'll be in Washington, D.C. Y'all know how much I love all of y'all. I really do. But I love like physically being in D.C. I'll be in D.C. September 19th through the 21st. The link to my website and the tickets to all my live shows are in the details of this podcast. So if I'm coming to a city near you, make sure that you come out and see me. Also, this is the perfect time to hit that subscribe button. Not only hit that subscribe button, but go ahead and, share this link with somebody. If you're enjoying what you're seeing, if you're enjoying my content, I am noticing my subscribers going up. Like I'm posting my stand up and I'm doing this podcast. We talking about what's reasonable and what's not reasonable. And y'all, like a month ago, I had maybe like 6,000 subscribers. Now I got like 25,000 subscribers or something. So by the time y'all see this, it might be even more than that. So thank you guys. Thank you for coming on this journey with me. All right. What's up with Z? What's up with me? I got this crazy Remember It Goes Down in the DM? I wrote one of my favorite jokes to that song or about that song. I fucking love that song. My favorite line in that song is, Snapchat me that pussy. If it's cool. Because the if it's cool is an important distinction, right? The if it's cool is like you still got a choice. Like, it's less rapey. Like, I could imagine walking down the street and a guy is like, yo, Snapchat me that pussy. And I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, if it's cool. I'm like, well, I mean... Whenever you hear It Goes Down in the DM, you think fun is happening in the DM. Not my DMs. Let me tell y'all something. I mean, I guess there is a little bit of fun happening in my DMs. There's a little bit of fun. There's some compliments happening. There's some eyes. There's some hearts going around. There's some where you at, what you doing going down in my DMs. There's also a lot of left on reds in my DMs. There's a bunch of Ramadan Mubaraks in my DMs, Ramadan Kareems in my DMs. But there's also some BS in my DM. So I'm going to let y'all be the judge, because I ain't even going to ask y'all, like, am I reasonable or are they reasonable? I already know it's wildly unreasonable. It's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I just want y'all to tell me. I just want y'all to hear it. I just want y'all to bear witness to it, actually. And okay, let me just start. So because the opening line, I got a DM. When did I get this DM? I got this DM a few days ago, and it reads like this. I know you may never see this, but can you please let me have $50,000? I'm going to be honest with you. Even if it said 50,000 pesos, I would think they was out their rabbit ass mind. I know, first of all, I get a lot of DMs that start with, I know you may never see this. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I see a lot of it, actually. I see a good amount of it. I see a good like 40% of it. Just FYI. So if you want to send me something legitimate, like if you're trying to get through like legitimately, I definitely say try it. Like definitely try it. I've been living paycheck to paycheck because I was irresponsible with my money for most of my 20s. I'm 28, in the military, and I'm about to lose everything, my house and possibly my job. I know this is strange. I'm glad you know how strange this is. I know this is strange, but I'd rather just be honest with you. You know when people be like, just like the truth will set you free. Just be honest. Like people can respect honesty. But some things you really actually shouldn't be honest about. Some things you should say the truth is actually no better than a lie. The truth is not good also. And so I need to keep this to myself and work on this myself. If you do me this favor, it's a big favor. If you do me this favor, I promise I would just keep this between you and I if that's what you would like. So here, let me just bury the lead. There's no way this person is getting $50,000 from me. But if I did find the compassion and the empathy, and I don't know what they thought. Maybe they thought because it was Ramadan, because you know Ramadan, to increase our blessings, we're supposed to be very charitable. But let me tell you what. While everything I do, I ask for Allah's blessing. Allah did not create no fool. Okay? So if they were coming to me during the month of Ramadan, like she has to be even more charitable than she is already. So I'm going to go ahead and ask for these 50 G's, although she don't know me. She don't know me at all. I'm not even a person in her. I can't even, they not even a person that I've accepted messages from yet. But even if I decided to lose my mind and give you $50,000, you're not even going to tell people? You're not even going to acknowledge it? Even on GoFundMe, Kickstarter, etc., it says the people that donated. So you ain't even going to let people know that I donated to you making bad decisions in your life? I donated to the remedy of you getting your life together in the amount of $50,000. You should be singing that to the rooftop. You should create a song for me. Your next couple of posts should be like, yo, I did bad with my money in my 20s. I'm 28. And this comedian who I don't know at all, I just sent her a little DM and she sent me $50,000. That's what you should be getting a t-shirt that says, thank you, Zainab. Then put it on me. If that's not what you want, I won't say anything. If that's what you want. I want for you to not send me no random DM talking about, can you get $50,000? I currently made a budget. That I will be sticking to. I have no savings and I really wanted to restart at life. And this would really help me a lot. Please, I promise I will not disappoint you. How could you disappoint me? I don't even know you. That's what's so crazy about this. We ain't even got to the end, you guys. And this has to be a joke. right? This got to be a joke. For somebody to send this has to be a joke. But this is also the reason why when you go into a bank and you ask them for a loan, when you ask them to give you startup money, when you ask them to loan you money, they want collateral. They want not only collateral, but they want you to have history with the bank. I actually was watching on my flight because, I was the flight to Australia was like 15 hours. And I watched Catch Me If You Can, right? And with Leonardo DiCaprio. I like the movie. So every couple of years, I'm going to watch it, right? On a plane especially. And he was going into the bank, and it's a montage of scenes where every bank is telling him, he don't know because he's 15, 16 years old, pretending to be an adult pilot, right? But every bank is telling him, listen, it don't matter what check you got. And he showed up with a check. This DM, they ain't got nothing. But he showed up with a check, and they were like, listen, we don't cash checks with people who we don't have no history with. So we won't even cash your check if you don't have history with us. And now this person is asking me no history at all. They not even in my face. And they asking me to trust that they are going to do better, that they going to abide by their budget, that they not going to mess up this particular money if they get it. This has to be a joke, right, you guys? It has to be a joke because this is like, please, I promise I will not disappoint you. I'm embarrassed and ashamed that I messed up this bad, but please, I need help. Thank you for being you. They must not know me because if they knew me, they would have known this is not the DM to send me. And I think that people who do know me, you know how many DMs I get with people asking me to donate my time, to donate money to a campaign, a cause. And you know how many times I oblige? How many times I happily do it? Happily. And I don't say that to validate myself. It is what it is. When I can, I give to people who are in need. When I can. And I don't even need that much information. But this person don't sound like a person in need. They sound like a person that is out of their mind. And therefore, I can't help you. You need therapy. You need to sit down with somebody. Thanks for being you. They got to bottle this audacity up and sell it. Ship it out, get it on shelves and sell it. I would never, in my lowest state, I would never send this to some public figure. Ever. I would never be like, hey, Kerry Washington, you might never see this, but if you do, can I please get $50,000? You know, I ain't been living right. I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and I just messed it up, and I'm really embarrassed and ashamed, but I promise you, Kerry Washington, I promise you, if you give me the $50,000, I won't even tell people. I won't tell them if you don't want them to know because I don't want nobody else. Since you being so charitable to me, I don't want everybody to know how charitable you are to strangers. And so I ain't even going to tell them because I don't want nobody else coming knocking on your door. You want to know why? Because if you give me the $50,000 so freely, then I could probably come back. Even if I do mess up again, I could probably come back and get another $50,000 from you. But due to my changing circumstances, I will no longer be that person that wastes money and lives above my means. She talking to me like I'm her cousin or her grandmother or her sobriety counselor. I was growing through it mentally after I left a bad relationship. Now that's the whole start of, that's probably where you should have started. Hey, I know you don't know me, but I've been going through stuff since I've been in this bad relationship. Let me tell you about this bad relationship and let me tell you what it did to me and my decision making. That's probably where you should have started. You still wouldn't have got the $50,000 from me. But you would have at least got some real live empathy. I don't even know what I'm asking you guys. I don't even know, because I don't need you to tell me how unreasonable this is. I don't even need you to tell me that. So y'all could just tell me what here's what we'll is it reasonable for me to just assume that this is a person that knows I'm a comedian and they like, this is going to crack Zainab up? Also, notice I'm actually not even, I usually protect the identity of people who send me, even, when y'all send in Ask Z, I change the names. I don't show who it's really from, just in case. I'm leaving this. Is that unreasonable of me to do? Y'all let me know. I'm going to keep it real quick with these, headlines, because we got to get to that Ask Z that's very long. And so I'm going to keep it very quick. First thing is Diddy got some properties searched, his Miami property, his LA property, completely reasonable for the FBI to do. They're called the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Investigation is in their title. Okay. And there are allegations of him sex trafficking, and sexual abuse and all of that type of stuff. And it is their job to investigate. Now, is it our job to come to a whole bunch of conclusions like, oh, he must have flew his jet to the Caribbean to get away. He must have got out of here. So that's unreasonable for the public to start making all of these assumptions with the little bit of information that was released, which is the FBI had warrants. They showed up to 2 of his properties and they searched his properties. Completely reasonable. Will Smith got pulled over for doing 63 in a 45 zone. That is not news. It's completely unreasonable for us to know that. Is it reasonable for the cop to pull him over if he's speeding? Absolutely. Is it reasonable even for him to speed? Possibly. I've sped before. When you out on open road, it happens. We've all sped before, but it's not news. It's not news at all. I know that it's Will Smith and he's a very huge celebrity, even given all of the, not so great things that have been in the news about him as of late. But this is not news. A speeding ticket? He ain't hit nobody. He ain't hit nothing. He ain't driving to the Pacific Ocean. He went 63 in a 45. It's not news. Unreasonable to report that. Who even reported it? Who called the newspapers? Who called the publications? And who at the publications was like, yep. Whenever I see stuff like that, I'm like, it must be a slow news day. Trump ain't grabbing nobody's vagina. Biden ain't saluting somebody that's not there. They ain't got a bunch of unfortunately dead kids to show us in Gaza. It must be a really, really slow news day if y'all telling me that Will Smith got pulled over for doing 63 in a 45. Y'all was looking for Kate. Princess of Wales, I think it is. I think Catherine, I don't know her name. Princess of Wales. Y'all were looking for her so diligently that this lady had to come out and let y'all know she got cancer. She couldn't even peacefully take the diagnosis and figure out what she was going to do because the public decided to go on a man. I'm going to be very honest with you. I don't understand how there is unemployment in first world countries. How is there unemployment in the United States? How is there unemployment in Great Britain? How is there unemployment? Because y'all got all the time in the world to be detectives, to be looking for somebody, to be consumed with information that really does not service our lives at all. I'm going to be very honest with you. When I saw the headline, Kate's missing, I was like, oh my God, Kate Winslet? Because I love the Titanic. Then I thought, oh, not Kate Winslet. Well, maybe Kate Beckinsale, because y'all know I saw Broken Down Palace when I was, I don't know, maybe in like a kid or something like that. It made me scared to travel internationally. It wasn't those two Kates, but then I was like, Kate Upton, the model, Kate, give me some other Kates. I even thought of Katherine Johnson first. That was the Hidden Figure lady who helped, the mathematician that helped the men get to the moon or whatever. The last person to come to my mind was the Princess of Wales. It reminds me of that when the Queen died, when the Queen of Great Britain died. I don't even know her name. What's her name? Queen Mary is the ship, right? When she passed away, and it was like the headline was like the Queen died, and the girl did the video. I watch the video every so often.
Oh, the Queen is dead.
Queen Latifah?
No.
Beyonce?
No.
Janet?
No.
Mary J. Blige?
No. Lauryn Hill.
No.
Toni Braxton.
No.
Diana Ross.
No.
Tracy Ellis Ross.
No.
Monica.
No.
Brandy.
No.
Maya.
No.
Missy.
No.
The Spice Girl.
Mel B. No.
Alicia.
No.
Ashanti.
No.
Mariah.
No.
Celine.
No. Girl, the Queen of England.
Adele.
No.
Well, who the hell they talking about then?
She was like Queen Latifah, Beyonce. I mean, she was naming everybody. She went all the way down to Adele and Mariah Carey before it came into her mind that it could be that older white lady who this is perfect timing for her to die. She's far beyond senior citizenship. She's lived a full life. And anywho. Totally unreasonable for us to be consumed in the quote unquote royal family's day-to-day lives. Like for me, it's unreasonable. Do I have anything else? Let's get into Ask Z. Oh no, I have one more. This is really unreasonable. And I have to, okay, so this is like a touchy subject, but I have to say it. It is the month of Ramadan. Muslims, we fast from sun up to sundown. We abstain from sun up to sundown, from food, liquid, bad thoughts, bad words, intimacy, all of that, right? We are, I've said this before, we are working to build, strengthen our spirituality, our connections with our family, etc. Right? And you know, according to the Quran, the Prophet Muhammad, I'm saying this loosely, right? I'm saying this loosely, broke when he fasted. When the Quran was revealed to him, he was fasting and he broke his fast with 3 dates. And so for me, whenever I break my fast, I always break my fast with dates, right? Beyond the fact that I like dates, dates are really free, naturally sweet and good fruit. I like dates just generally all year round, but definitely during Ramadan, I eat a lot of dates, right? And so I posted like a post on my Instagram and it was just me with a picture of dates, right? I didn't even think about the dates. I didn't think about who made the dates. I got the dates from Whole Foods, which is where I shop. And I just posted if you know, you know, when you got I had a big thing of dates. I normally don't have a big container like that in my house, but it's like, it's Ramadan. So if you know, you know, right? I fly to Australia, you know, a day ago. As soon as I get in, I have a welcome package from the festival. Now, everybody at the festival, all the people who put the festival on, the people who are in charge of my lodging, my travel, my schedule, etc. They also know that I am Muslim. They know that I am fasting, right? That is something that they know. That is something that my reps made them aware of, etc., etc. So in my welcome bag, it's a thing of dates. So I post the welcome bag and I'm like, oh, did you know I made it to Australia, everybody? And look here, they welcoming me to the festival. And oh, this is nice. This is really nice. I'm not sure if they gave dates to, I'm not sure if they gave Majul dates to everybody, but they gave me dates. And I think that's, I think that's really wonderful. Thank you. That's so sweet. Most people who saw that post, they commented and was like, they didn't do that for everybody. We're just going to choose to believe that they are acknowledging and respecting you fasting during Ramadan. And it was like a really wonderful gesture. But there were a couple of people who send me messages like this every single time I post anything. Make sure those aren't Israeli, fill in the blank. Make sure they're not Israeli dates. Make sure. I am completely aware and disheartened, like most of us, by what is happening in Gaza, by the people, the innocent people that are dying. I am for a permanent ceasefire. Let me make that very clear. I am for a permanent ceasefire. I do not agree with our government sending money to the Israeli government. I do not agree with it at all. It actually makes me voting. It makes it very tough because I too am like, well, hold on. I definitely disagree with what you're doing and therefore you should not have my vote. And I don't believe any of the major candidates, Trump nor Biden, are going to go against the Israeli government. However, Can we just be reasonable when we say things? Can we be what? If I don't know if those dates are Israeli dates, but let's say they are. Let's say they are, in fact, Israeli dates. Am I supposed to? They already purchased. They not purchased by me. They were gifted to me. So can I not eat the dates? Are there airstrikes and air attacks in the dates? Am I going to eat the date and then somehow not feel how I feel, not feel for the people of Palestine? Is that what's going to happen? I didn't purchase the dates. The dates were gifted to me. Also, if we're being reasonable, as much as I completely disagree with what, I think his name is Benjamin Netanyahu, right? What's his name? Yeah, Benjamin Netanyahu. It's a mouthful. I don't agree. Every time I hear him in an interview, I don't agree with nothing he's saying. I think he's wildly unreasonable. That's my personal opinion. But because I think that he and the government that he is in charge, because I think that he is making unreasonable choices and decisions, does that mean that I cast unreason on every person that resides in Israel? Does that mean that I have a problem with every person that identifies as Israeli? That's crazy. That's crazy. Please stop sending me those messages. Please trust that I am on the right side of history. Please trust that I am doing everything in my power that is aligned with what is fair and what is just. You don't have to send me DMs every time I'm sitting at a cafe or I eat a date. Make sure it's not Israeli. What? You're doing the same thing that you ask for people not to do to you. When someone identifies as Muslim and does something, or someone identifies as black and does something that you don't do, you don't want to have to carry that sin, right? You don't want to have to carry the burden of their bad behavior. Stop it. It's so unreasonable to comment. And people try to cushion it. Zainab would love sister. Make sure that's not Israeli. It's so unreasonable. Please stop. Please stop. Ask Z. This is a long one. I'm going to try and get through it very fast, though. Let's bring it up. She even says, she says it's a long one. She said this is a long story, but I'm going to try and make it quick. I was planning a trip to go to Miami to Art Basel. Yep, that's something that happens in Miami. I was going to book a hotel room for the week. I'd be there, but my friend, let's call her Cece, who lives in Miami, instead I'd stay with her so we could hang out. I agreed. When I arrived to Miami, I get a voicemail saying she was no longer living in her apartment, but she booked a hotel room for both of us. 2 beds. Now, y'all know I already got a problem. I arrive because she flew from the Caribbean, right? How long is the flight from the Caribbean to Miami? In that amount of time, you had to leave your apartment? No. So that means you knew beforehand. So something ain't right. So, okay, she landed. And the friend says she's no longer living in her apartment, but she booked a hotel room for the both of us, 2 beds. She gives me the address and asks to split the bill. The sudden change was weird, but I didn't think much of it, nor did I mind splitting the bill because initially I was going to stay in a hotel anyway. I completely agree with that, right? I completely agree that, I have no problem with splitting a hotel bill. We both staying in a hotel, whether that was my initial plan or not. Unless I told you that I was having some sort of money issues, I'm down to split. Like, unless I was like, hey girl, I want to come to Miami Art Basel, but I don't really have the money to stay in a hotel. Are you okay with me staying with you? Unless I say that, then if the plans change, I'm totally fine with splitting the bill if the plans change. But I'm calling you immediately. I get a voicemail, I'm calling you immediately. And before I get over there, I'm checking to see what hotel you got us booked at. I rented a car at the hotel and drove to the hotel. When I got there, it was a dingy, dirty motel. So I made a mental note to book a new hotel the next day because it was kind of late and we already had plans for the night. If I get to a hotel that's not an actual hotel, it's a motel. And it's not just a motel, but it's a dingy, dirty motel. Girl, we ain't got no plans for the night. My only plan for the night is for me to find comfortable lodging. And since I don't have money issues, right? Since I'm saying I was totally fine with splitting the bill because I was going to get a hotel anyway, I'm only staying with you because I was trying to hang out with you. Because that's all known. Yeah, we don't got no plans no more, girl. Let me find a better hotel real quick for you and for me. Because we friends. I don't even want this for you. I don't want you to have to stay in a dingy motel. So let me find us a really nice hotel. Let's get comfortable. Let's get in some robes. Let's order some room service. And let you tell me why you just had to leave your apartment in the past however many hours since I was on the plane. I make a note. Make sure I don't want this to cut off. I make a note to bring it up at a later time. She introduced. Oh, okay. Okay, wait. No. Okay, so I knock on the door. She opens it, and there is a man in the room as well. A man sounds like a stranger, right? Because if it was somebody she knew, she would have said their name, right? She'd be like, oh, when Chris opened up the door. Oh, her ex-boyfriend Joseph opened up the door. A man sound like you don't know him. You ain't never seen him. You ain't never heard of him. You ain't got no papers on. A man sounds dangerous. Apparently, her boyfriend was also going to be staying with us that night. She had somehow left that detail out of the voicemail. So, again, this goes back to, right, remember the improv Ask Z? So if it's me, you, and your man, are we splitting it 3 ways? This bothers me because I don't like surprises. Girl, surprise is the least of your worries. Surprises, I don't like surprises that put my life in danger. This bothers me because I don't like surprises and I don't like sharing my personal space with people I don't know. I make a note to bring it up at a later time. Girl, you got so much grace. You have so much grace. You made a note to bring it up at a later time. You got all the grace in the world, okay? Make sure this is. You got all the grace in the world, okay? All of it. She introduces us. He seems nice enough. We talk for a bit. I freshen up. Then we go out to meet some other friends for dinner and a night out at a club. I have to mention that the boyfriend sharing the room with us was a man she supposedly broken up with months prior to me coming to Miami, and I had never met him before. The whole night I thought this was a new boyfriend. I don't even know why it matters. Like, I appreciate the details, but it really doesn't matter whether he is a new boyfriend or old boyfriend, because all that matters is you. You don't know him. It don't matter how long Cece has known him. You don't know him, and y'all in a dirty, dodgy motel that she just asked you guys to split. Right before the night ends, I find out that this was indeed her ex-boyfriend who has anger issues and who has robbed a convenience store at gunpoint. I think she was just, this to me sound like a joke, just like the DM that I read y'all a moment ago. It's like to release all of this information like, hey girl, so I know the motel is messed up and I ain't tell you why I had to be out of my apartment. But also, you know, this is my ex-boyfriend who you never met. But remember I used to tell you he used to beat my ass? Not only did he beat my ass, but girl, he robbed the 7-Eleven with a gun, girl. But yeah, we just gonna have a good time at this party, go back to the dingy, dirty motel and act like ain't nothing happened. It's like, if these are your friends, who's your enemies? I take her aside and say, girl, why didn't you tell me I was sharing a room with a felon? I would not have taken her aside and said, girl, why you ain't tell me you shared a room with a felon? I would have taken her aside and said, are you good? Because this don't seem right. I'm going to head back to the motel, get all my stuff, and I will, you know, and you know, and I will see you at another, when you get your life together, I will see you at a later date. She laughs it off and tells me he's doing better now and some more things I didn't care about. Well, we care because this is, you on edge. You are, Molly, you in danger. So we need the details. I didn't care about, because at this point, I'm starting to doubt my friend's judgment. At this point, listen. We get back to the motel around 2:30, 3 a.m. Cece says to me, you can use the bed closest to the bathroom. When I get on the bed, it's broken in the middle. I asked her why she didn't switch rooms knowing the second bed was broken, when she tells me she got a room for a single occupancy, so that's why the second bed is unusable. At this point, you can no longer call Cece your friend. I'm not going to even refer to her as your friend in this message. This is crazy. She booked a room with single occupancy, so they gave her a room with 2 beds and was like, it's still single occupancy because one of the beds is broken. And when you get in at 3 a.m. to the dingy, dirty room that she's asking you to split, she then instructs you to go to the bed that she knows is broken. This is, and I thought listen. I thought the girl asking me for $50K. Was it CC that asked me for the $50K? I decided to use this as a pretext to get another room. You didn't even need a pretext to get another room. I decided to use this as a pretext to get another room for myself, but of course all the rooms are booked. At this point, I'm pissed because this girl has been lying to me since I got to Miami. Because I'm tired, I decide to go to sleep and talk to Cece about her web of lies the next day. I go to sleep with my pocket mace in one hand, purse and phone under my head. If you got to go to sleep with all of that, don't go to sleep. You got a rental car. Put all your stuff in a rental car, drive over to the Ritz-Carlton and park your car there and go to sleep there and check into a room first thing in the morning. 2 hours later at 5 a.m., she wakes me to ask me to drive her to work 45 minutes away. I tell her to go, however, she would have normally gone if I wasn't visiting, turn around and go back to sleep. I gotta say, you were sleeping really comfortably for all of these unknowns. I don't do spontaneous activities at 5 a.m., but you do dirty, dingy hotel rooms that are spontaneously changed with a man you never met before who you find out is a felon. Forgive me. I know I'm sounding judgmental, and I guess you about to pose an unreasonable or reasonable question, but I would say just up until this point, you have been so reasonable, it's unreasonable. It's unreasonable for me to believe that you are a person that has trust your intuition and uses your brain. Girl, come on. I wake up around 8 a.m. to an empty room, which is fine. Cece is at work and the boyfriend probably stepped out. When I looked out the window, my rental car is gone. I didn't hear when the key was grabbed from my purse. So you slept with the mace in your hand and all the purse and the keys and all that under your pillow, and he still managed to get it away without waking you up? That means you are a deep sleeper. Or you felt really safe and comfortable because, girl, you might be the problem. Cece's the problem, but you might also be the problem. I got to be honest. I didn't hear when the car key was grabbed from my purse. I was livid, yet calm, because at that moment I had made a decision. I showered, dressed, booked another hotel, and patiently surfed the web while I waited for whoever took my car to bring it back. The boyfriend showed up around 10 a.m. with the car, then stepped out to run some errands. I grabbed my stuff, left, and never called Cece. I didn't communicate with her till a week later when I was back home in the Caribbean. This was the last straw in a series of questionable things she's done over the years, but this one was off the charts. Was I unreasonable for ghosting her after all the lies and the manipulation? Of course not. Of course you were not unreasonable for ghosting her, but I think we don't talk about Cece. I think we really have to talk about you and how much you endured. Girl, did you even see any art at the Basel? The amount of changes to the plan and the unknowns that you endured were severely unreasonable. And I have to say, I want you to never do that again. I don't know what your history with Cece has been up until this point. I don't know friends like this. My worst friendship is I know a girl, she is habitually late. She is habitually late. And I have very little tolerance for that. Last time she was late, she invited herself to Juma. She's not even Muslim. She came into DC to see a show of mine, showed up and was like, oh, I'm gonna come to the late show. The shows were sold out. I said, well, did you get tickets? And she was like, oh, I'm going to get tickets later. I said, well, the shows are sold out. But this is who she is. Then she was like, oh, okay, well, I really want to see you. I said, well, I'm going to add you to the list. I'm going to definitely make sure you could get in the shows. But that's wild that you just thought you was just going to show up whenever you wanted, get the tickets last minute. I don't know. Maybe she was just saying that because she expected me to put her on the list. Whatever. I did it. But then the next day she's like, oh, I really want to come. You going to Juma, right? I was like, yeah, it's Friday. I'm going to Juma. She was like, well, I want to come with you to Juma. I'm like, okay, I don't know why, but okay. I tell her where I'm going to Juma, what time Juma starts. She got there at the end of Juma. Rushing in like she had been there the whole time. And that for me was the straw. But this, telling you the moment you land in a voicemail, so she knew you was on a plane. She knew to leave the message while you were on the plane. Hey, girl, change your plan. I got to leave my apartment, so I booked us a hotel. Turns out it's not really a hotel. It's a motel. It ain't even the best motel. It's a dingy, dirty motel. And oh yeah, it got a broken bed and a man you ain't never met before who is an actual felon. But don't worry about it, girl, because we going to the club, right? Cece ain't got no business being nobody's friend, acting like that, putting them in that predicament. But you, who I'ma just call Mimi, I'm going to call you Mimi. Mimi, you got to do better for yourself. Everybody in the comments, let Mimi know if it was if it was unreasonable for her to ghost, because that's what she's asking. Was it unreasonable for her to ghost Cece? Or was it more unreasonable for her to endure all of what she endured that weekend when all she was really trying to do was go to Art Basel in Miami? I'm glad, Mimi, that you got home safe. It's feeling like an episode of Lola. It's feeling like the movie Lola. That's what your story is feeling like. Anyway, I got to go, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. Make sure that you guys subscribe. Definitely let me know what you guys think about what's unreasonable and reasonable. And tune in next week. Okay? All righty. Bye.